Welcome to the, at this point, released 2026 edition of KitSZN. Hope y'all have had a great holiday season and a happy new year. We're starting this year off with a fun interview that we're looking forward to. Just a bit of a taste of what we have in store for y'all here in 2026. And as always, want to give a quick shout to all of our lovely patrons down below who love us and support us. But I do want to just get started with this amazing interview that I think a lot of us have kind of been looking forward to. So I am, just going to bring him on up here. So without further ado, here's Sam Zisette from Ballard FC / Salmon Bay. Sam, welcome to the show. Appreciate being on here.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. Thank you for having me. I've been a big fan. Appreciate all you've done to highlight not just our kits, but all the amazing kits across the USL ecosystem and beyond. So yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I have in my, I think 5 years now, crazy. We have noticed a slow evolution in how many kits there are and how many are really good. And Ballard FC from day one have been a great example, and Salmon Bay knocked it out of the park last year. So yeah, I appreciate that. So I just wanted to simply, I think a lot of us here just want to just first talk through, obviously you're a co-founder and president of the clubs. Just kind of see, I got introduced from our friend at AFC Ann Arbor, Jamie. I wanted to know, how you know him, and also how Ballard Salmon Bay came to be.
Sure. Oh, that's a great way to start. So I grew up here in Seattle. I went to Ballard High School, played soccer my whole life, played through college, and then I wanted to play pro, as the highest level I possibly could after college. Didn't quite make it right after I graduated, but was able to make it out to Ann Arbor to play for AFC Ann Arbor, who are now USL League 2. At the time, we're NPSL. And so I got to know the head coach there through a combine. They brought me out for the summer right after I finished school. And I just had an amazing experience. So got to know Jamie really well. What a great guy, amazing club that just treated the players so well. First and foremost, they treated us like we were pros, took care of us, had a great community that we got to play for and support. And we were a great team, had some tough matches against Detroit City FC. We lost to them, and I think it was the Midwest Conference final in a tough game in front of the Northern Guard supporters, which was quite an experience for me as a player. So that really turned on the light bulb for me of what this kind of level of soccer can be. I kind of continued my playing journey, spent a little bit of time in Spain, came back, jumped on with the Tacoma Stars, indoor soccer for a few years.
MASL.
MASL. Yep. And just had this idea along the way for Ballard FC, a club kind of like AFC Ann Arbor that would be, here in the community that I'm from, that I grew up in and that I now live in, that would both treat players, at this top level like pros and really give them that experience to help springboard their careers, and create a club for the community to come together and support Ballard and watch some super high level soccer and do it in a way that, especially in Seattle, sports are getting harder and harder to access for people and for families especially. And so Ballard FC is just a more kind of accessible, fun, community-oriented team for people. And yeah, fast forward 4 years, and here we are entering season 5 and entering season 2 for Salmon Bay. So it's been quite a journey.
Yeah, I gotta say, and off the AFC Ann Arbor is a great example to kind of pitch based off of. When I visited Jamie and all of them up there, it was one of my first main experiences at the League 2 level, and I couldn't have been more accepted, and they were so hospitable to me being there, and they're just a great bunch of people up there. So I love to hear that they are your example, because that's a great one to build off of. Yeah. Based on everything what I've seen on and off the pitch up in Ballard, I think it's working so far.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we had a couldn't have had a better example to follow in terms of how to start a club. And really, ultimately, it comes down to how you treat people, how you treat your players, how you treat your staff, your fans. And ultimately, it's a big flywheel as you create this kind of snowball effect of positivity and community. And getting to learn that directly as a player at AFC Ann Arbor was a big part of how we were able to start the club and create some of the success we have here.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I will say there's been some success on the field. I will say with not just your looks, but obviously I see that trophy in the background as well. Subtle brag there. As well as a bunch of players that have been getting drafted from Ballard to the MLS level. So there's obviously, you treat them like pros. Well, now they are. And I think that's a testament to kind of what y'all are building out there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I mean, we are a springboard club. We're a stepping stone, however you want to say it. We exist to help players achieve their dreams of being pros, and putting them in this environment surrounded by like-minded players who are, top quality, a dedicated and experienced coaching staff that really care for the players and want to help them, in all aspects of their life. All the tools, the resources, everything from the gear we provide, the way we travel, the food, the kits themselves. But, we really try and pour a lot of energy and resources into the players and really invest in them. And yeah, it's a huge point of pride for us every time a player, goes on and signs a pro contract or gets drafted. So I think we're at now in our 4 seasons for Ballard FC, over 25 players have signed pro contracts. And for Salmon Bay, we've had 2, and it's only been, a few months of a short off season. So it's pretty awesome progress so far.
Yeah, that sits on the men's side of season alone. And that is a pretty good indicator to obviously the success that y'all have done. And also just the wealth of talent that there is even out there as well. Especially, I think, in the Seattle region, they've done a bit of soccer success recently. Obviously, you got the Sounders, who are homegrown talent, crazy top tier when it comes to MLS standards with their academy and that pipeline moving through. The University of Washington has done pretty well recently in men's soccer as well, and obviously Ballard doing well. There's just a lot of good wealth that people are able to attract to Seattle, and I'm wondering if, as someone from the area as well, do you think there's something in that Pacific Northwest water up there, in the sound and all that, or are y'all just really good at recruiting the best of the best? Is it? Yeah.
I mean, I think we're pretty good recruiters, but that's not the main reason. We work hard on recruitment, and we really try and, build good relationships and rapport with players. But that's really, I mean, we're so lucky to have such a special soccer community here in Seattle. It's been built over a long period of time by a lot of people. You can't give credit to one organization or one person, but for sure the Sounders have done such a fantastic job, even way back from the 70s and on, of cultivating a love and a passion for the sport, that it goes all the way down to, kids going and raising their families as soccer families. Take myself as an example. I grew up going to Sounders games back at Memorial Stadium a little. Well, not really. That was when I was very, very young, but before I can remember. But then, when they were at what was then called CenturyLink Field, or even something else before then, and it was just one half of one side of the 100-level stadium for the USL days. And my dad would take me to those games, and I just loved it. I grew up from as young as I can remember going to those games. And then, he was an inaugural season ticket holder and brought me to all the MLS games from 2009 and on. Mm-hmm. And so you have these like generations of fans. Now I have a 1.5-year-old son who, maybe he'll like soccer, maybe not, too young to see if he likes it or not. But, if he does, then he'll be coming with me to games. He'll certainly be coming to Ballard FC games and Salmon Bay games, whether he likes soccer or not. He'll be on the sideline of those for sure, because he'll need to be. But, I just think that beyond the Sounders too, when you think about all the youth clubs in the area, other great clubs like the Tacoma Stars, who had such a big moment, especially back in like the 70s with indoor soccer. So all to say there's no one reason or one group, but soccer has just become a big part of the fabric of the culture here. And when that happens over decades and decades, it just creates a foundation of support for the game and then generations of players and a level of talent. So we benefit and we focus on the local player, right? Yeah. So University of Washington, Seattle U, SPU, other schools in the area.
Yeah.
A lot of players who are from Seattle area and then go to school elsewhere. And then, of course, we have younger players who are still in high school and some older players who didn't go necessarily on the college track or are finished with college and still looking to play pro. Mm-hmm. So, 95% of our roster every year is Seattle based one way or the other. And that's how we want it to be. And the fact that we made it to 2 national championship games with, the core of our roster being, Seattle based, I think is pretty special and a testament to the soccer community here.
Yeah, I would certainly agree. Being 95% local basically is a huge testament. I am someone that we've preached on this show. Keep it local, keep it as local as you can, support your local. Because I think it's fun for the fans, it's fun for the players, and it's just a deeper investment into the community when you can see, hey, they're from around here they are now having success on the sports teams. There should be more sports teams, and having something to really encapsulate and show off the talents that there's a lot of athletes in America, and especially soccer, and be able to showcase that is amazing in all levels, and we love that.
Totally. Couldn't agree more.
So to your point about going to games when you were young at Sounders games, there is a big kind of tournament, I don't know if you heard about it, coming up this summer to Seattle, specifically the Men's World Cup here.
No, I haven't heard of it. You have tickets? I'd love to check it out.
Oh, no. I'm not taking out a mortgage to get those tickets. But,
yeah.
But
we were joking earlier, you could have like a 10-year season ticket to Ballard FC or Salmon Bay FC for the price of one game. But regardless, we're very excited for the World Cup coming to Seattle, particularly.
Yeah. Is there anything that obviously have you felt the energy around Ballard fans, supporters? And is there anything that y'all are looking? I know there's no schedule release yet for League 2 or W, but is there anything in your mind that you're like, hey, let's try to encapsulate that to maybe inspire the next generation, kind of similar to what happened with you and probably millions of others across the U.S.?
Yeah, I mean, totally. Yeah, we got a lot of ideas swirling. At the end of the day, we want to stay true to who we are and stay core to our community, right? And so while it's so exciting that both our community is going to be energized by the World Cup coming to town, and there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world coming to Seattle, and we're very excited about that and want to open our gates at Inter Bay Stadium to people from all over the world to experience hyper-local soccer happening, at the same time as the World Cup. We want to stay focused on who we are and everything around our player experience, our fan experience, giving back to the people here in Ballard and just in Northwest Seattle in general. That has to stay true. So on top of that, though, I mean, one idea we're really excited about and we're hoping to figure out through our scheduling process is we have the USA versus Australia game happening here in Seattle on Friday, June 19th. And we thought it'd be a fun idea to host a game at our stadium, Inter Bay Stadium, which is just about 5 to 10 minutes down the road from Lumen Field. And we'll host the game that Thursday, the night before. And we'll kind of, make it a USA versus Australia sort of themed game, encourage folks to wear their USA kits or their Australia kits, and just have some fun. Maybe do a halftime show with an Australian fan and a US fan doing a crossbar, dribble relay, and just kind of build, add to the excitement of that game. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be thousands of Australians in town, coming in on that Thursday probably, or even before, to get settled in before the Friday game. So why not open our gates and kind of, lean into it and have some fun with it, and just hopefully have, show both Australians and also people from all over the world what kind of hyper local soccer in America is about. Because I think when people from over the world think around think about American sports, they think of the NFL and, obviously the MLS for soccer. And, they think about this kind of like corporatized sort of, top tier. And they don't necessarily know that teams like Ballard FC and Salmon Bay FC exist and thrive with awesome fan bases. And so we want to, lean into that and show that off. And I think it'll be a point of pride for our fan base as well, as they chat with some of those fans and they go, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. This is like the third tier and wherever, right? Like we want to, give a point of pride to what we're building for our fans and show the community that, we're building something special here too.
Yeah, just I've heard this said a few times. There's a bunch of lower division clubs here in the U.S., especially hyper-local ones, who do number-wise bigger than professional clubs in Europe. And people don't quite comprehend the appetite here and also just how passionate the fans are for hyper-local teams. You can look at all across, like, I'm going to bring up probably a name you don't want to, Vermont.
I love those. We can talk about Vermont all day long. I love those guys. It's a great club.
Okay. I'll just make sure that there was no ill will with the last League Two. But yeah, like their big crowds, Chattanooga FC in the past, like 15,000, I think at one point, one of the games, if not more.
I got to play actually against Chattanooga FC one time at their stadium. Yeah, I was with the Sounders U23s in 2018 as a player. And we traveled out to Chattanooga just for a one-off like preseason game and played it at Finley Stadium. I forget.
I think so.
Yeah, it was fun. Huge crowd, good environment, great fan base. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, you name it. There's dozens and dozens of clubs, and it's not just about. I think sometimes we get wrapped up in like attendance figures, which is good, and that data is important. But it's also like when you actually talk to people and how like we have so many supporters that like Ballard FC and Salmon Bay FC are really important part of their lives and like a way that they are connecting with their community. And it sounds kind of fuzzy, but like it really means a lot to some people, right? Who, feel like they can actually, connect with their community in a meaningful way that, especially as, I don't know, we get more and more digital, having those kind of in-person experiences where you meet people or just get to connect with people, and share a common, interest of the club, I think is really special. And we take that very seriously. So
yeah, as one should. And that's one of the things that we love about soccer. I've only been a fan for about 10 years of soccer. I grew up playing high school football. I had no prior soccer experience, but then when I got around to it, that's one of the things that U.S. soccer and just soccer in general, it's something that's more connecting than I felt with other sports. There's always a sense of community, and League Two and W really show that off about where everyone just loves that team. But you're like, it's an amateur semi-pro team. Why are you so attached to it? Well, for areas, that might be their only like real, I'm going to quote, professional experience into something that's not like a high school or maybe a college team. And that's something the entire community can get behind. And that's something that's very special for everybody.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it. So, and then that leads to one of the next things that I want to talk about is obviously the kits. So y'all have done something very interesting every single year. Y'all look phenomenal every single year. I love it.
Thank you.
One of the things that I think y'all started a trend, by the way, a few years ago was the artist collaboration when y'all formed. Tell me about that idea and kind of how that started, because those have produced, obviously, I'm wearing the Stevie Shao kit, one of the most creative ideas every single year, and everyone tries to copy it a little bit.
Well, before I'll give you a quick tour of our office here. We've got the original Dawsfee piece of art that I see you have the Dawsfee kit up there. So he did this oil on canvas, and then we turned that into a kit. And then not the best angle, but there's the original Henry kit, the first ever artist kit we ever did. So yeah, these are some of our favorite things we do. I really feel like, I've loved, football kits for a long time. And before I started the club, had my own little collection and just loved the artistry of it, the ability to be creative. I have a music background too. So I think there's a part of my, like a creative itch that I get to scratch with kind of kit concepts and, working with real artists on these as well. It's just like a real satisfaction that comes with that process and seeing it go from idea to design to reality. And then fast forward 3 years, I saw somebody wearing a Henry kit on the street like a week ago. And there's something so cool about that, seeing somebody still rocking it, 3 or 4 years later and loving it. And people ask us about it every year. So we just have a lot of fun, and at the end of the day, we can't take ourselves too seriously. We need to have fun. We need to amplify, amazing, talented artists we have in the community and give people something, fun to get excited about, to wear with pride, to, when they open their closet and they see that kid, it just gives them a good memory and something joyful. So we put a lot of our time and effort into design and concept. And for us, like, every kit doesn't need to be super bold or loud, but we do want every kit to have somewhat of a story, at least needs to represent our community in some way, whether that's something geographical, something cultural, and then obviously nothing more, than our artist kits that just really tell the story of our local artist and let them express themselves and show off their talent and also benefit them, as obviously a portion of sales go directly to the artist, right? So for them, it's not easy being an artist and making a living and making it work. So we use this series as well to help those artists directly through kit sales and scarf sales. So
yeah, we love that. We always love kits that do more than just pocket a club. We all know it's all about financials. Everybody kind of needs a little bit of monetary help, but we love it when kits can do something more than just be a fun kit. It can also help someone or a charity in need. We love it when clubs do that. One of the things that you obviously probably subscribe to the ideas that we kind of talk about here on the show, which is we love to have stories, but you all seem to always have the same type of home kit, and you just kind of keep that same tradition. And that's something that we say your home kit's got to be your tradition and your colors. Like, you have that brand identity, that home kit, that's yours, right? And obviously with this, I think it was the revamp vintage 2.0, I believe is what it was, the one that was released.
Yeah, that's what I'm wearing right now is the refreshed vintage kit. Yeah.
That's what it was. Refreshed vintage. I'll have to make sure I wrote it.
Yeah.
Refreshed vintage.
And we are, we when we decided to call it the vintage kit, we did it full awareness that we're only 4 years old as a club. And so we're certainly not trying to celebrate Ballard FC's, vintage history, but Ballard itself as a neighborhood, has been around over 100 years and has plenty of great history. And, we have our local dive bars and like local spots here that have been around for decades. And so we felt like this was more of a nod to vintage Ballard and that we can kind of be the vehicle to support that, or tell that story,
Because that's what it's about, right? You want to what I've had people tell me this multiple times. Why do kits matter? And why are there so many collectors out there? And why do people put so much emphasis compared to other North American sports into their kits? And it's that point kind of right there that there's a story that you're trying to tell. And it's a way, especially at this local level, to bring in the community onto that kit, either with a local sponsor, local artist collaboration, or just some sort of thing that only the locals would probably understand, and it tells that story. And that's what makes kits, and someone who probably likes kits, as you said yourself, being a bit of a creative, probably something that you understand, and I've noticed in the kit game as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agreed. And I realized I didn't answer your question about the origin of the artist collaboration series. I kind of went off on a tangent. So I could dive into that too, because it's a fun story. You know, we started with the Henry kit, which you have up here in the background, which is awesome. We, you know, originally we're just going to kind of do an oil on canvas or like a spray paint kind of like canvas piece with Henry. We identified like early on that we wanted to work with Henry. I mean, his work is all over Seattle. It's iconic. You know, I grew up, you know, as a kid pointing out his figures, you know, to my parents, and he's just been around. He has an amazing story as well, come through really hard times. You know, he was homeless at one point and worked his way through that with art. And so he's just an amazing person, amazing story, a big part of Seattle culture with his work. So we knew right away, like, what a great person that we would get to work with if we were so lucky. And he jumped on it right away, was super excited. We were originally just going to do a piece, and then the brewery, you know, Reuben's Brews, wanted to do a mural there. And so we did a whole big full-size mural at the brewery there, you know, just down the street from me right now. And we turned that design into the kit. So that was kind of the first iteration of it. And we just had so much fun with the process, had such a great response that after we finished that release, we were like, we need to do this every year and feature a new local artist every year. And just imagine, we closed our eyes and we're like, imagine in 10 years when we have all 10 artist kits, you know, on one rack, and just getting to remember the Henry kit, the Dosby kit, the Stevie Chow, and just be able to do this every single year. And over the course of a decade or 2 decades, the collection we're going to create is going to be really special. So we're already on to year 5 for Ballard FC. And then now, since we've launched Salmon Bay FC, we've turned the artist collaboration into a shared kit with a lenticular badge that represents both clubs, as you can see with the Sarah Robbins kit. So that's a fun thing we've added to this collaboration series as well, of making it a shared kit, which we think is pretty special.
I did notice that, because I did get the Sarah Robbins kit. I have all your artist collab kits except that Henry one. I was too slow on that one, but I did notice that on the Sarah Robbins, I don't want to say holographic, but you know, that trends, you know, that badge that kind of shows both, and I love that touch, because it also goes with another thing that we like, which is sometimes there's that shared unity between clubs, and it allows clubs to save money, so you don't have to print out like 80 of the where you don't have to have 2 different kit designs. You can just have the same kit, so it's financially good. It's also some environmental goals for people, as well as over some consumption stuff, and it brings them together. And in this case, it bridges them together. I'm going to use y'all's name, the crest.
Very good. We love a bridge over here.
Oh, yeah, I'll miss some bridges too. So I figured y'all do as well.
we do, maybe too much. Actually, whenever someone on our staff gets stuck at the bridge, we have to send an obligatory photo of the bridge being up, you know, into our staff WhatsApp chat. So, and I'll give you a little teaser. I probably, you know, shouldn't do this, but we're celebrating our 5th season for Ballard FC this year, and in kind of this like 5th season campaign we're putting together, we're going to do some kind of nods to our club history, albeit it's only 5 years or 4 years, but we are going to just kind of bring some things back and celebrate some things of the past. And so if you were really hoping to get a Henry kit, there's going to something will present itself as an opportunity to tap back into that. So I'm kind of bearing the lead, or not so much bearing the lead here, but that'll be part of kind of our 5th season celebration, is bringing back the Henry kit in a special small way.
I love that. And one of the things that I did notice as well, I wanted to talk about this. I didn't really notice this at first, but with the new kit this year, one of the things I noticed on your shoulders there are chevrons. That means there's a different kit supplier, because that is a common thing. How has that been working with, obviously, I hope I say their name right. I never know how to say it right. Inaria? I hope I say
you got it.
Inaria, and now working with a bigger player in North American soccer. How has that been as well with your creativity? Have they still allowed y'all to kind of do your? I know it's still early, but how has that kind of been going from an Aria to a Hummel type of transition?
Yeah, good. I mean, first of all, we were really, really grateful to get to work with the folks at Inaria for 4 years. I mean, we knew when we started the club that the ability to be able to be creative, to do things that are unique, not to use templates and basic fabrics, and like it was really important for us to have that ability to create and do the things that we did, right? Like the Henry kit, every kit was custom, from top to shorts to socks.
Everything.
And so, Inaria were fantastic partners. We were so appreciative of everything they did, to help us, realize that kind of dream of custom and creative kits from the very beginning. So great partnership. And the transition to Hummel's been great as well. It was just time for us to make a change and do something different. And Hummel's been great to work with. Like you mentioned, they are a little bit bigger. So there are definitely some benefits to that. Having them working with so many clubs, particularly USL clubs, right? Like there's a process there and a system that's a little, just a little kind of more reliable. And that just comes with the size and scale. But the nice thing about Hummel too is that they're not too big that we become a tiny, tiny fish in a huge pond like a Nike or Adidas, right? And so I think there's a good balance there. And we're early, but we have this first vintage kit in, which we're super excited about how it worked out. It's been, people receiving it super well. And we have, most of our kit lineup for 2026 is already done, and we're just getting production going, and we'll get, marketing, materials and like storytelling type stuff done. And we'll kind of slowly release those between January to late April, basically kind of ramp them up towards the season.
Absolutely. I mean, that makes sense. Because with basically, I just hear that I'm going to have a busy 4 months because every team's going to be releasing kits between January and April. So I love that.
We always like to do like one or two early. Like we did this one a little earlier. And
which I appreciate as someone that's trying to organize all that. I love this time of year releases, so I don't have to scrunch them all in January, but yes.
For sure. Yeah, but we'll just kind of slowly drip them, basically one every month or so. And we'll finish with the new artist kit, which should be in April. And this one, I'm probably a broken record, and I say every artist kit that comes out, it's my favorite kit we've ever done. So I have to watch that. But I genuinely think this next artist kit will be the favorite kit we've ever done for me personally. It's it's going to be pretty special. So
it's good. Hey, I say that every year y'all release kits too. So I did it, and I'm not even directly involved with the designing and like get all the early access. So I did that. I try not to say every kit's my favorite, so I don't have like 30 favorites and then I have to pick some. It's better can't be choosers. But one I have this written down and now my thought is gone. So so obviously you're invested in the kits, and from an ownership and from like the front office standpoint, we'd love to see that. Obviously you also hinted at you're kind of a bit like you like kits already, like kind of beforehand you got involved with Ballard a little bit. I wanted to know, without any of the, I'm not going to have any biases, any teams that you've kind of been on, but like, what were any of your favorite kits kind of growing, or like kind of that you've had, or what are some of the like the holy grails for you, or at least one?
Oh man, I really do love old, like there was like an era, a kit that's like always on my mind. I can't get out of my head was like, I'm really bad at remembering like specific dates or years or anything like that. So it's like a Germany, like 1980s or something, where it has that like Adidas like pattern with the 3 with like the yellow, orange, red across the chest.
Oh, that classic.
Yeah. Yeah, I like, and maybe that one, maybe because that's Ballard FC colors, I'm particularly attracted to it. But that one stands out. I love everything that Venezia does. I have a couple of theirs. They had a great run, especially like 3 or 4 years ago. Man, yeah, I like a lot of the older stuff. I mean, I don't like to necessarily wear it, but I love to see like a big floppy collar from the 90s, like a ridiculous collar that was so impractical for players to wear. But there's just something awesome about that. Yeah, but I like modern kits as well. I mean, I like some of the new stuff teams are doing. Like Liverpool had this teal kind of set a year or two ago that was really special. They had this
fence.
Yeah. They had a cream set as well that I took a lot of inspiration from. So I've been liking what Liverpool's been doing recently. I forget I'm not remembering the years super well. It's just all on my Pinterest board or whatever. But Liverpool had this cream set that was just like so silky, so smooth and classy. And they always shoot it so well as well. I mean, the quality of the photography and everything, right? So, that Liverpool teal and the Liverpool creams they did, in the last 4 or 5 years were pretty special.
I would say they kind of do align a little bit with the colors of Salmon Bay with a little bit of that teal green. I noticed with the kits last year, and as well, obviously, Ballard with the tan cream almost base for the home jersey. So it's a little sense there, I'd say.
The Salmon Bay colors are so fun to work with. We were able to work with Matthew Wolf on the design of the Salmon Bay FC logo and the inaugural home kit. So I've known Matthew since they started Vermont Green FC. I met him back in 2021 as we were at the USL Winter Summit for that year. And, him and everybody at Vermont Green are fantastic. But getting to work with Matthew on the Salmon Bay logo and then the kit design was so much fun. I mean, there's literally nobody better in the world than him. So, he just built this really beautiful wave pattern and, leaning into that salmon color that is really unique. And, Matthew kind of told us this as he was doing the kit and doing the logo. He's like, I can't think of a single team in any sport anywhere in the world that has leaned in and owned salmon as like their primary color. It's very hard to start a team and pick a color that is truly yours, that isn't somebody else's. And that was really exciting for us. The idea that and sure, there are other pink teams out there, but like salmon is a unique color and it's not quite pink and it's not quite orange. And so it's cool for us and cool to hear from him, someone of that stature and that experience, to be like, you guys will be the first team that I can think of in the world to really own this color. So that was pretty awesome. And it's been a lot of fun to work with the Salmon Bay color set and it's been really well received.
Yeah, I've noticed this as the USLW has kind of become a thing here since they started off. A lot of the teams have been really nice branding and really nice colors that are unique and that you don't normally see. So obviously, Salmon Bay owning salmon, that is something you don't see. Greenville Liberty with the blue and yellow, but with that unique crest. Rowley Madison, who just did it with a purple and like a gold, but not gold, orange thing. You don't see these colors. So I think we've always said League 2 and W are the best looking league in the entire world, bar none.
Well, I think that's true. And at the end of the day, I think that the reason for that would be because you have people in their communities who are creative and smart and working with a great team. And you just get to kind of make decisions. It's my favorite thing about the level that we're at is we can just we're a small team and we get to just make decisions and do what we want to do. And we don't get caught up in, red tape, bureaucratic stuff at the size of the leagues where you have to get league approval on things and you have to go through 10 different stages of approval to get a simple thing done. It's sort of the best thing about this level of soccer is just the ability to do what you want to do and not be faced with 100 reasons no, like you just get to kind of create. Sometimes that's very daunting and a little bit stressful to feel like, man, there's so much opportunity. There's so many things we can do. It's an endless supply of creative ideas and opportunities, which can be a little daunting to stare at, but I've gotten a little bit better at that and being able to face things over time and not let that scare me. But yeah, it's so fun to be able to be creative. And there's so many creative people all over the country who are building clubs every day and, doing great work. And so getting to see, what all the other clubs are doing is inspirational. And just reminds us how creative, the soccer community is and just how creative people are in general.
100%. And kind of to your point of a lot of creatives, the Sioux Falls City kit was actually from their player. We got to interview her and talk about that. What lead and what level can you, as like a player or a whole front office, really, and even community, have like such input on what you can look at, and which is why we tend to love this level, because there's nothing like it, at least not here in the U.S. If it's all like minor league baseball, that's still kind of, yes, it's small, but it's still also like, to your point, bureaucratic. There's a whole system that they got to maintain, and this makes this league special.
Totally. And the fan input and creation side of it is so important. And every year we've done a fan scarf design contest, which has been really awesome, where we bring in submissions for scarves from supporters, and we let them pick our favorite 5 and then or 3, and then let the fans kind of pick their vote on their favorite. Last year we had over 1,000 votes or something. It was really awesome. Beautiful scarf design. And in our first year this was more of a product of having indecision amongst our group, but we had 4 different away kits for our inaugural away kit that we really liked. We liked all 4 concepts, and we sort of were indecisive amongst our group and had different preferences, to be honest, too, of like what we wanted to do. So at one point, one of us was just like, let's just let the fans decide. If we can't pick, let's let them pick. So we put all 4 of our inaugural away kit concepts up for a vote, and I think we had like 2,000 or 3,000 votes from people all over the country. It was amazing outpouring of like people, wanting to voice their opinion on which kit. And the one, it was my other co-founders, Chris and Lamar, gave me crap about this, but the one that I liked ended up winning. So they said that I rigged it. I swear I didn't rig it. But it was cool. It was one that we weren't sure if we were going to go forward with, and it got like 50% of the vote amongst 4 kits, which was a lot. We produced it, and people loved it, and they still wear it every day. It was called the Brothers Kit. So it had like the Brothers Mountains, the Olympic mountains on it.
I remember that now.
So that fan input side is so important. And, I think that smaller clubs, community clubs can do that. They can really bring people in a more authentic way and help people really feel like they're truly part of something, not just in the voting, but even on like the game day experience, meeting the players, talking with the coaches. I mean, our fans say all the time, like, how cool it is that they can grab a beer with the coach after the game and ask him about the game. Like, where else can you do that? So that level of connection, I think, is really special, and a big part of why clubs like ours can thrive, and why communities need it as well. They need that connection.
That level of intimacy with players is something that makes this level really fun and unique, to your point, because you can just go talk with them after the game. A lot of times they're like roped off. You can't go back to like VIP status or whatever have you, and that's what makes it exciting from everybody, from the fans, front office, and even journalists kind of like ourselves. Y'all are way more accessible than sometimes some of the bigger clubs, and we love that. And that that willingness to be open with us as well, which we always appreciate.
Of course.
So as 2026 comes around, what should we expect from year 2 of Salmon Bay and for year 5 for Ballard FC as we wrap it up here today?
Yeah. So I'll start with Salmon Bay. We will be launching the same home kit as last year. So we like to put kits on 2-year cycles. I think that's from a sustainability standpoint, but also for the fan. I mean, like, we're fans first, myself, our whole team. When we buy a kit, we invest that, whatever it is, 80 to $100 or whatever in a kit. I want to be able to wear it this year to support the team and see the players wearing it next year. Yeah. Right. And even then we want to have home kits, especially have used the same color set that you mentioned kind of earlier in the interview. So for Salmon Bay, we'll relaunch the home kit, but it'll be with Hummel, right? So it'll have a couple tweaks and changes, but it won't look materially too different. But we will be doing a new away kit for Salmon Bay that we're very excited about. Beautiful colors, Pacific Northwest vibes. So fans of kind of the Pacific Northwest, I don't want to give too much away. The kind of, I won't know. I'm known for giving this stuff away too much, so I'm going to pause. But beautiful kit will come out a couple months from now or so. And then we will have that shared artist kit I mentioned, as we do every year. So that will again be a shared kit between both clubs with a holographic or lenticular badge, which will be really special, with a new artist who is incredible. And, again, probably will be my favorite kit we've ever done. We'll wait and see. I say that a lot, but so that's the Salmon Bay and the shared kit side. Oh, and one other, we'll be doing a goalkeeper kit with Salmon Bay as well. That'll be really fun. I think we'll catch a lot of eyeballs as well. And then for Ballard, we've already launched this vintage refresh kit, which we really love. The colors are beautiful. It feels really nice. And yeah, it's been really well received. We'll be doing a new away kit for Ballard, which I'm staring at the sample. It's right in front of me right now. And that's basically getting in production here soon. It'll be super fun. We wanted to go bold. We kind of went go big or go home with this kit. We'll be celebrating Ballard's Nordic history and heritage. So think kind of Scandinavian, Viking kind of vibe. It'll be real fun. Bold, deep, good colors, and it'll have an accompanying goalkeeper kit as well. So it'll be kind of a set with an away kit and goalkeeper kit. And yeah, that's going to be a fun year, kits. And I'll say this about kits. Fans love them, but I think what sometimes fans don't recognize is how much it's a point of pride when the players put their kit on and they feel like a sense of swag and confidence. Yeah. And like our players care, like when they show up to media day or they see the kits, they want their hands on them. Like it matters to them. And that's not our primary motivator for our kind of kit design and what we do. But it is like it's a 1% advantage when the players feel like they've got some more swag than the other team, and they feel like they can kind of, feel a certain sense of confidence that they get when they put that kit on. I mean, again, it's not a make or break. It's not going to win you or lose your game, but it gives you something. It's like maybe it's a 0.5% of edge that it gives a player feeling just a little more swag than the other team.
As we always say, you look good, you play good. And when teams make good looking kits, hey, there's no science behind it, but hey, if it makes you feel good, go with it,
100%. Yeah, totally. So it'll be a big year kits for us and a big year on the field. With Salmon Bay, we just barely missed out on playoffs last year. We were the best defense in the country. We only conceded 2 goals all season. I know that our head coach, Malia, Tiffany on our team, they're working super hard on the roster. So Salmon Bay, the goal is to win a national championship, and I think it'll come together. And we like to say that, with Ballard FC in year 1, we made it to playoffs. We kind of bowed out, I think, at the Western Conference Final. We finished second in the division, and then we won the national championship in our second year. For Salmon Bay, we finished second in the division last year, reloading, revamping, and it feels like it could be a national championship year for Salmon Bay. That's the hope. And then for Ballard, we've made it to 2 national championship games in 4 years. And so that's always the goal, is to make it back to that stage again. So should be a very talented team, great coaching staff. And I feel very confident that both teams can make it to that national championship stage.
Yeah. Well, best of luck, Sam. Obviously, y'all will be looking really good. That's what we care about. But I wish y'all the best of luck on and off the pitch here this season, and we're very excited to see what y'all have to release for us here. So
thank you. Appreciate you saying that. If you're ever in Seattle, come pop by our team store. We have a retail store in the heart of Ballard that's been super fun to have. If you're ever, just pop by. We're there all the time. Or let us know. For anyone listening, come by our team store. Come check it out. It's pretty cool to have a 4th division, semi-pro or amateur team with a team store in the heart of our community. So come pop by. And if you're ever in town for a game as well, would love to see it at a game.
Hey, Seattle's on my list, and I know Ballard definitely is too. So I will 100% let y'all know when I get out there. I need to make some more road trips anyways. So
awesome.
I'll keep that noted. So appreciate you, Sam. I know you're a busy man, and I know it's the holidays, so we're in almost peak preseason time. I don't care if it's y'all don't play until May. It's still like peak preseason time. So I appreciate spending some time with us in the chat, nerd out about some tips here a little bit, and so I will let you enjoy the rest of your day, and wish you a happy New Year as well.
Thanks. Happy New Year. Thanks, Brett.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Oh, yeah. Let me just real quick. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in here with this interview with Sam. We appreciate it. Happy New Year, and we see y'all more in 2026. Thank you. Have a good day.